Today we're going to play Amulet Titan. Hadn't done that in a while. There's a prelim in 44 minutes which we are playing if it fires, and I guess we can join a gold league. You know, now Sagas will also be good against Harbinger. Like in some spots specifically awesome, making your opponent unable to play the card. I don't know what's UG, so Mul. Keep, put back Grażyna. Need to draw lands. Ideally a bounce land. Tanglepool Brigade. Oh, I see. Also, Alp_MTG asking, Canister, did you start testing standard for Vegas? Oh yes, yes I did. I've been hard testing standard on Cockatrice most evenings for the past... Oh kurwa, Ravager. Inkmoth, holy shit. I've been hard testing standard on Cockatrice for the past week or so. More than that, I guess. I have to say that Cockatrice drains the soul, but... Alright, Ravager, Agasa's Soul Cauldron is kinda nasty shit. Walking Ballista X0, am I dead? There's no way I'm dead, right? They just wanted to use the... Well, actually I wouldn't say no way, there is actually a way I'm dead, it's... No, it doesn't sound that crazy, honestly. I am probably dead next turn, because both of those are ballistas now. We'll see. Against Harbinger, if we have Saga on 2, we can make constructs every turn, right? Yeah. Sagas will retain their abilities with Moon in play, which is kind of a bullshit rule as well, like, so they exchange one bullshit rule with other bullshit rule, but honestly that does happen when you print a card that says one thing and it actually doesn't do what it says. Inkmoth Nexus with a +1/+1 counter shoots poison damage, actually. There's no way I'm not dead, actually. I'll let my opponent perform the kill. So, Mr. Chimba, thank you very much for the sub. Is it important which one I block? So this is a Ravager and this is not. I'll block the one that has 2 power already, but maybe it's actually better to block the boss somehow. Because you suck and you put a counter on it? I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Was making a token not the same as casting innate Grazer. Grazer has 3 toughness and naked token has 1 toughness, which against the ballista might matter. But it seems like it did not. And I will not be longing for a naked Grazer this game. Yeah, also blocking Moth, so... Lord Egg 1, Scales is big, Scales in big 2025. I guess it's a Scales deck. I thought of it as an affinity deck, but I guess you could call it a Scales deck. Ravager. Metallic Rebuke. Horrible matchup. I don't really like Dismember, so I'll bring Force of Vigor and I'll just submit. Saga. Let's say I keep that. Maybe they have enough ways to interact with sagas to punish me. I don't feel like my interaction matches up too well, so I don't really want to attack my opponent on that angle. I wish they played a Blood Moon now. Ancient Stealings is alright, that's fine. I guess not, I don't wish they would play a Blood Moon because we don't live in the future, we live in the past still. Dumpling Sphere, sure. Botanical Sanctum, sure. If opponent plays a Dumping Sphere, I guess we construct beat down them a little bit at least. Mitek, skurwysynu. I think I should play my Gruul Turf. So the one awkward thing that might happen is that if Urza Saga Blood Moon, you know, it went from being a Giga non-bow to actually being a combo. Oh, perdona. Which is huge. So now you can just play Onza with Saga. No, you just play Blood Moon in your Mox Opal deck. Mox Opal plus Blood Moon is kind of an OP combo, right? In itself. No ale gówno, ja pierdolę, no. Derpy red control deck? No, you just play Mox Opal. Derpy red control, bro. You just play Mox Opal and you play Blood Moon or Harbinger of Disease in your Mox Opal Urza Saga Affinity deck or like whatever combo deck you were playing, and then you just have a backup plan of doing that. Like you could just, because when your opponent, like when you have your own saga, you are at the mercy of your opponent. They will simply just not play their Harbinger if that would mean that they give you a construct factory that they would lose to, right? The opponent has the agency to not click the button that results in casting Harbinger. So you could simply not do that. If you have your own Blood Moon, then you get to choose when exactly you are pressing the button. Alright, I'll put a new one. I died to the shittiest beatdown control Dumping Sphere. Haywire Might. Pile. I need to add Collector Roof back to my deck instantly. I think this is too weak. This is alright. Did I sketch a list with Minstrel? I did not, no. The more I thought about Minstrel, I thought I don't really want to play it main deck. For it is not good against Boros Energy. So if the meta is still gonna be 40% Boros Energy, I think it's just gonna belong in the sideboard. The GSZ cut Scapeshifts plan should be much more sensible against blue decks, because now you can keep sagas, so you have the option of just hitting your opponent with sagas. So then I'm not sure what matchups do I actually end up wanting the Minstrel. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic about the new card, as I often tend to, but it does seem bad into Boros energy. Or prowess, or like, you know, just main deck, you play a monster, they bolt it, I don't know. But I think with Sagas online, GSZ sounds pretty good into blue decks, and you can cut Scapeshift then, fully. Because the approach of Scapeshift protect Scapeshift is pretty solid as well until it doesn't work. While it's kind of hit or miss, because if you miss, then you have your Scapeshift against counters, it's kind of bad. In MH4, Amulet will cut its Titans altogether. Yeah. I mean, it's already close to doing that, I think. Do I favor a particular standard deck for the PT currently? I have promised Team Handshake not to divulge any information about hard testing standards, so I can't really tell you. I guess no, I can. No. I can answer a question. The answer is no. Hope they don't fire me for that. Opponent unconveniently at 19 life, so that 3 Titans don't kill them. Really tragic and sad. Time to make the Storm sideboard transformation. I'll cut the Prismatic Ending and play 4 Sagas to go with my 2 Blood Moons already there. That sounds not particularly great, but also not like the least likely idea to work ever, so yeah. It's interesting at least. I mean, Saga, probably not too good in Storm, right? But if your deck happens to have to actually have some artifacts, then why not? And you know, just the pairing of Mox Opal with Blood Moon is very natural because well, it is, right? You just have an artifact that makes every color of mana and then Blood Moon. Oh, they should errata Saga to not be a land type. Well, it is not. That is the point. That's the crux of the entire interaction, right? There's not a land type, so Blood Moon has no right to alter its Saga typing, so it just becomes Enchantment Land Mountain Saga. Will be harder to sideboard now that I don't have to remove sagas all the time. Yeah. But mainly, it's mainly in the blue matchups, which were hard to sideboard against anyways, and I kinda didn't want to remove all the sagas against those either. So it's not gonna be so bad, and nutritious. It's actually gonna be fine. Maybe if we can keep sagas to keep the threat count pretty decent, we can just devise a -4 Scapeshift plan. I think that might be sensible. Hopefully I don't take 18 damage here. Seems pretty unlikely. Monastery Swift Spear. The strat of not sideboarding against prowess working out well so far. The mutagenic growth. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 extra damage. They have another one, I guess I die. Alright. Crazy shit, bro. Good game, by the way. Well played. This modern's gameplay good, chat. Discuss. Is good. Agreed. It's clearly fair and balanced. Sure, your comment sounds ironic, but the contents of the message are not necessarily clearly to be interpreted as ironic, so... Is the Prelem gonna fire? Let's see. Not necessarily, I guess. One v one prelim, yeah. 1v1 me in the prelim. Eric. Oh, 3 players. I think Eric is a Storm player, so the prelim was already unwinnable for me. So maybe it's good that it doesn't fire. What's my favorite ice cream? Favorite ice cream? I don't know if I have a favorite. No, you don't, right? So sure, it is about increasing consistency, but... Have we thought about how sideboard changes after Saga rules are changed? Probably always keep 4 versus Harbinger's deck right now. Yeah, for sure. 4 Sagas against any Harbinger deck. I'm more inclined to cut Scapeshift for GSZ against them because the GSZ Saga plus Titans threat base should be enough. If I cut... when I cut Scapeshift previously, I was often struggling. Just not having enough threats in my deck. Sure, you don't do that in that spot. However, playing with GSZ, you also increase the number of Grazer, Titan, Mr. Beast. Yeah, and I don't think that's awesome. Like, I think Scapeshift is better than that. That's why I'm playing with Scapeshifts, Explorers, rather than with GSZs. Well, nothing important. But certainly Minstrel has to be tried at least. So the issues I had with GSZ mostly are that when racing, gold fishing, it's not actually the most incredible. Am I even supposed to Scapeshift here? Well, let's say I am. So Scapeshift not actually being a flexible... Not Scapeshift. GSZ is not actually like the most flexible, because once you realize that Dryad Arbor is bad, you kind of realize that you don't have... Oh, that's a disaster. Yeah, I want the bounce land. Once you realize that GSZ... Oh, Pierre. This was not good. So GSZ in your opening hand was not good, because Dryad Arbor was not good, fetching for Grazer, a play I really dislike. So that made it just an expensive card that didn't really help your hand become better, so it's just kinda like fake consistency, but it's gonna be a bit of a better consistency now with Minstrel, provided that that Minstrel is a good target, right? But there is a chance that Minstrel is like Dryad Arbor, like, in which case it's just not a good target because it turns on removals. Tricky situation. Don't know if you've seen Wandering Minstrel from the FF set. Yeah, that's literally all we've been talking about, so I have seen it. Yay, thank you very much for the sub. Kappa Cannoneer. What's the most vicious card my opponent can get? Soul Guide? Might? Well, we'll see. The amulets, amulet enabling is the most important for Scapeshift in a way, so then that's gonna be hard. But where Minstrel could be alright is if you actually still cut your sagas against the Zenchant decks and you board into GSZ, then you can GSZ for Minstrel postboard against a deck like my opponents. where most of the removal is might and similar, and I think here Minstrel would be really good. Spots where Amulet is bad, yeah. Well, there's not really spots where Amulet is bad, but I guess technically there are. Well, against Might Spam, it's nice to have a creature version of that, so like here post-port, it would be awesome to have Minstrel, I think. Could be portable hold, but that's fine. Here it would be awesome game 1 as well. Even though they don't really play removal, this game we threw a little bit by going for the micro Mr. Beast and getting insta punished. Sport 6. And Dismembers. Maybe I want Bog. Or 2 Sagas. Yeah, that's alright. If you have 4 GSZs and you oof someone, then being able to fetch an amulet with it is also valuable. So there is nice things about the card. Best hand ever. Let's actually start on Mirrorpool. I don't need to run out my Saga. You could also construct a reasoning that tells you that you're more likely to keep playing map given the new rules change, because Urza's Saga is gonna stay in your post-board deck more often, which yeah, that's like plausible reasoning as well. We've been flooding with pacts a lot today, and that was also something that I really disliked about GSZ, because it does contribute to the pact flood, because it's just not like if my hand looks like this, the pact is it's blank until I literally begin winning. And the same is true for GSZ in those hands. Explorers and Spelunking cycle you and get you out of the tough spot, sort of, at least. What is a Minstrel? This is a Minstrel. Just read the first line, the rest is irrelevant. I hope you read it. Oh, no map. I forgot. Holy shit. Whoops. No construct. -1 construct. Too bad. With 1 town and an analyst loop, Minstrel does also infinitely pump a creature. Sure, but that seems irrelevant for the most part. Pretty hard to be relevant. Any playable towns to go with it? Certainly not enough to get 5+ into play. We can check the towns. The towns are the limited tapped dual lands and adventure land in each color. Radiant Mountain Town, holy fuck. New Era Town Amulet. I guess Forest would have been better than Saga this game. Yeah, Fastland Town. Not really a land that's particularly interesting for Amulet, but I guess it exists. I should have cycled and explored. What am I doing here? Ashok. Dobra, ziomuś. Ashok is rough. Oh, let's finish the league. Maybe the 1-2 bracket is gonna be kinder. So it's a bit rough. But yeah, thinking about it, I guess just the only real way to fit Green Sun's Zenith into the deck is just to put it in the win-con slots. You just have to reduce the amount of Scapeshift or Titan or Pact in your deck or Mr. Beast. You can't really cut explores for that, I think. Well, I say, of course, like, clearly others think differently. But it just doesn't work well with Scapeshift to have GSZ. Or you can just trim a little bit of everything and still have a little bit of everything. I think I should Vestige. I was wondering if I should maybe just not Vestige, but I think I have to Vestige Spelunking, put Cave into play, gain 4 life, play Expedition map. Next turn I can... If I drew a regular land, I could use Urza's Cave, which doesn't do anything, but I can also use Expedition map for a bounce land now. So opponent needs to take Scapeshift or they lose. Or Grazer, I guess. He took Primeval Titan. I was wondering what happened because my hand was the same. Bug? But I mean now without drawing a Titan they are dead, so I guess nice Thought-Knot here. Thoughtseize bug non-withstanding. Maybe we'll get New York as a town with Spider-Man. Isn't it more of a city than a town? See? The flavor constraints are pretty drastic. Oh, I transmute. I think opponent realized their mistake. So we are playing against Tron. What are the implications of playing against Tron? I guess no sideboard is the implication. Opening hand map. Would I rather have a bounce land in my hand? Yes. Would I keep with a bounce land? Yes. Will I keep anyways? I guess I will. The map doesn't actually hurt too much. No sideboard from both sides. Yeah, just fair and square replaying game 1. I did switch Cavern of Souls for a forest, so I guess I did sideboard a little. Drew a semi-growth chamber anyways. Talisman of Impulse. As Boseiju a land. Maybe not. What can they play for 8 mana? You know, actually, I don't care about Bosejuing after thinking about that, because if they just play 4 mana Thought-Knot or 4 mana Karn, that's still bad for me. Those are like the worst cases. I need to crack them up so that I don't get Karned. And they don't have Tron anyways. Like, how lucky would they need to be to actually have Tron, right? Crazy lucky. Oh, Mr. Chimba on the lookout for music complainers. I like that. I like your commitment. Circulate Tronland now. I guess. Let's kill the tower. The Tower of Power, I think that's what Cedric Phillips used to say when he commentated as SCGs. He was always, oh, here comes the Tower of Power. In Urza's power plant and player B completes Tron. Tower of Power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Glaring Flashraker, is that it? Hopefully my opponent doesn't follow up with yet another Thought-Knot Seer. Let's double block because we have 6 toughness anyway, so the only way to get punished is if my opponent casts a spell, and if they do, that's good for me. Because they wasted. Boseiju. Who? This is a Colossus spot. Nah. Colossus, not... No, 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 oh, no, no, don't spend red, good, good. Fixed my mistake. Colossus again with 2 lands, hoping for a different outcome. I mean, Colossus here at least would survive, and I would actually keep my land, so that's a bit of a bit more of a favorable position, one could say, but in haste, attack, copy Titan. Spider-Man, the animated series, Genesis Music Funhouse. I love Spider-Man, the animated series, Genesis Music Funhouse, chat. So good. Co ja zrobiłem? I guess I'll just sack Hanweir. Ideally, I would have sacrificed Crumbling Vestige, but I failed. Opponent did not grab their Devourer with their Labyrinth yet. Do they have a Kozilek's Commando? Yeah, so they will have plenty of mana. Well, not it's just X1? No, it's X2. Okay, they get 1 from the Flashraker. 1 top, 1 bottom. They found something good, chat. So I will kill the Eugene's Labyrinth. They probably don't have a second forest. So they lose 2 mana and they lose the ability to get to Devourer. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana for Emrakul. Ujin, Eye of the Storm. If they have a follow-up, that's gonna be fucked up. Eugen actually is gonna wreck me if they have a follow-up spell. Like Expedition map or whatnot. Also the fact that I had to sacrifice... Oh, it's so bad. The fact that I had to sacrifice Hanweir is so bad here. Well, my mistake. Eugen, ay of the storms. I think I can kill Eugen still. If I play Forest, copy Titan, search for Lotus Field and bounce land. Be Gruul Turf and Lotus Field specifically. Untap them, then Shifting Woodland can become Hanweir. Then I can attack with 2 Titans on Eugen while searching the last Boseiju and a Otawara for Fodnotseer. Okay. Saved. Do I want to Vesuva anything? No, I don't think so. Well, maybe I want to Vesuva Mirrorpool for the next turn. I guess I do, actually. Do I prefer Vesuva or Echoing Deeps in play? I guess Echoing Deeps? Pretty minor. Green, green, 1 red. Copy Hanweir Battlements. Haste Titan. Map giving Delirium. Holy guacamole, actually true. Map MVP. So I could bounce the Echoing Deeps for flexibility next turn. But I don't know if that matters. I think I prefer to keep them in play. I guess I can't both Otawara and Boseiju. I don't have enough mana for that. Maybe I'll get a Saga and a Mycosynth. You do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... No, I do, that's true. Why did I say I don't? I deal exactly lethal to Eugen that way. It's good that Chad is on the... Chad keeps their head clear and capable of discerning what's happening on board, because I was not able to always do that today. Drew Amulet, irrelevant. Maybe even kill Eldrazi Temple. Probably not. Make sure they never Tron. Villain has 5 mana, that like a few extra mana for Fortnite Seer. They can cast Fortnite Seer anyways, it does not matter. But I am in a spot where I need to draw, well, I guess Pact, Mr. Beast or Analyst to progress further. Having GSZ in the deck now would be a blessing. Scapeshift is pretty blank, given how this game went. I just burned my nutty T-West. Another Fortnite Seer? That's crazy. I guess I can get 4 Sagas next turn and then that's it. Can also make many more Titans. You have failed at sideboarding out 1 Pact against counterspell decks, leave Scapeshift Mega Dead half of the games. Yeah. It's really rough. I think the solution to that is to board out Scapeshift, which I think with Sagas in the deck post-board you can do. But certainly the Scapeshift sideboarding just so inconvenient. Dobra. So not much that's interesting left in my deck. I guess I go for Urza Saga and just fetch all of the lands from my deck. Urza Scape, very useful when you have no lands left. And there's no benefit to playing the lands I have in my hand. If I draw Mr. Beast, I would prefer to keep them in hand. So I just attack for 18. Oh, we get to draw a new card, that's nice. Guess they had to block to not die. Is gain 4 relevant? Doesn't seem like it. True Amulet. Play Amulet to make constructs bigger, and that's it. That's my turn. Interesting game for a Tron battle. Devourer of Destiny. So my deck was virtually mono spells at this point, right? I think I had 4 lands left, so I guess it was possible I would still draw a land, but unlikely. Alberto XD, 3 days ago, mono black midrange. Oh no. Anything but mono black midrange. Against Alberto SD's deck choices in general, though, it seems reasonably strong to put a Saga into play and then make constructs. Alright, white black, white mana, Guide of Souls. Gold Dig is 2 chests for free too, right? Let's find out. Well, 2 QPs, 240 play points, and 2 chests, so yes. Let's make constructs. Not sure if it's correct necessarily, but it's fine. This is Halloween. When does Blood Moon Change go live on MTGO? Well, with Final Fantasy. But when exactly, I am not actually sure. I'm missing one type for Shifting Woodland. O kurwa, Soaring. The first token doesn't, but the second does. No, both do. Holy shit. Ascend, food tokens, let's fucking go. I wonder if I'm dead next turn. I actually don't really know. I could see not being dead. An option I have is to Pact for Analyst. Play Grove Chamber, Woodland into Titan. Soaring drains for 9 to 12 alone, does it? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I guess. Holy shit, is Soaring the Black Ajani? 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, I guess that's true. Which puts me at 5. 3. Yeah, I guess I'm dead next turn. Maybe I am supposed to Spelunking and draw Scapeshift. Because that wins. If I turn Woodland into Titan, I attack Soaring, but... which probably makes me not die, because at least I trade for 6 cats, but... it's not particularly awesome. Woodland dies, I have to pay for the Pact next turn. I can't analyze this turn in a sensible way. Which I think puts me in a tough spot still. Let's Spelunking into... Scapeshift, fail and die. Good, good. Soaring is a 1/4 as well. Unbeatable creature. I'll bring the sweepers. Probably trim 2 sagas. This hand is horrible. This hand is simply not good. I'll keep. I play Island in my mono green deck with a red splash. Limited splash basic opening hand vibes. I copy Godless Shrine. My Esper mana in my red green splash in my green splash red deck. Awesome. Sorry, surviving the sweepers, a bit of a pain. Also Urza Saga in my opponent's deck. Don't really understand why, but maybe they have some funny ideas. Asiok, no to wygrałeś, no. Na chuj go kurwa używasz, te loyalty to jest ważniejsze niż kurwa usunięcie moich zjebanych Otawary z grobu. Mi wkurwiacie tutaj tym straszokiem. 2-3 in the league. Amulet is really getting hated out lately and it's in a bad position metagame wise, chat. Thankfully, Thrasios releases and fixes all the problems.